We got this from the New York Times. Key moments from the third day of the Sean Combs sex trafficking trial. Cassandra Ventura, the mogul's former girlfriend, testified that Mr. Combs was routinely violent, stomping on her face and later raping her.
Someone had the video of this. Not that I'm encouraging us to show it, but if someone was
all over the TV.
It's
been all over the internet.
Oh, is
raping
it?
her?
Okay.
No, when he drags her on the floor, and then starts kicking her repeatedly, and then
that was a big deal a couple years ago when it happened.
The full edit. They said that it was the full unedited one. Now I don't know if that's
from
the same
from
one
the
or not.
security footage.
Yeah.
So what do we think is going on with Diddy? Is he like Hollywood Epstein?
Yeah.
I know because
seems so.
He's a rap Epstein. He's a music Epstein. There's definitely a Hollywood Epstein we don't know about.
What?
Maybe you know what I mean? There's like he's not Hollywood. He's rap.
There's like music.
Because I've been hearing,
Entertainment.
including from one of your staff, here,
Different stories.
that he's being charged only with racketeering. Is that the case?
Is that it?
I find it hard to believe.
I don't think that's true.
Just this came from one of your staffers, and I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. Everything I'm reading about this is nothing but about sex trafficking, about domestic violence, rape, etc. I haven't heard anything about he was laundering money.
I'm sure there's more Hollywood people worse than him.
So, yeah, I mean, just this one testimony alone.
Multiple federal charges: racketeering, sex trafficking by force, fraud, coercion, transportation to engage in prostitution. 2 counts.
Yeah, so
boy.
It's not just racketeering. I'm like, that can't be right. But AI told me, so I'm like, it's got to be. I googled it. I googled it.
What's funny is that we hear these stories about these freak-offs, and they do this stuff. It was Madison Cawthorn.
That's a racist comment to him. You said they.
They?
That's racist right there. Yeah, we know what you meant. I know.
Who are you people?
Yeah.
Madison Cawthorn says
white
they're having
people,
orgies in D.C., and everyone said he was lying.
Yes.
He's not lying.
Not even close.
And then video came out of two
gay
gay dudes in the Senate chambers.
Bring that up. That was shared too much on accident.
Did they go to jail?
What?
No, they got let off. Nobody cared. I think one guy got let go. I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Dude,
I don't know.
I love Democrats. I hate Republicans. I love Democrats. I hate Republicans.
Elaborate.
Okay, Democrats.
You get all your news from Dems.
Democrats
they keep you in business.
Are debaucherous, degenerates, vile, and evil. But boy, are they willing to burn down the planet for short-term benefits to their cause. Republicans, for the love of all that is holy, wouldn't even lift a pinky to arrest these people. That's why I am saying, man, I see the appeal in being a Democrat. You can arrest anybody who wrongs you. You can literally have, I'm not even kidding. Okay, I'm going to go off. 2 dudes having, I'm going to try and keep it a little family friendly. Doing each other in the Senate building, and the Republicans are like, oh, I don't know. Are you kidding me? You literally had when Al Green was getting censured in Congress.
Yeah.
And instead of facing censure, he starts singing. And then Mike Johnson's like, clear the floor. Can we clear the floor? And then the other Democrats all join and start singing songs and swaying back and forth. And he goes, we're adjourned. And he just runs off. And I'm like, holy crap, bro. Sergeant in Arms is right there.
Will rally around whoever their lib is getting attacked. And yeah, it's fucking all hands on deck. I do. I'm just there with you. A lot of respect for libs in that way.
Absolutely.
They will, whatever one of their animals is wounded, they will pack up around that motherfucker.
Not even wounded.
Conservatives will not do that shit. They'll let you go down with a Titanic.
They'll literally be doing drugs. And they'll be like, we can do whatever we want. And a Republican will walk in and be like, maybe you guys shouldn't do that. And they'll go arrest them. And then the Republicans like, oh, I'm being arrested. They hunted down J6ers who weren't involved in any of the riots, destroyed lives. There are numerous stories of individuals who showed up after the fact when the riots were over, walked onto a lawn, which is normally a public space. There's no signs, there's no barricades, diddled about, and then went to prison. Got arrested, got raided by the feds, gunpoint in front of their children. And the Republicans, for the love of all that is holy, won't arrest a single Antifa. Yeah. Well, right now we got cash in there, and they are arresting predators, and they're doing what they can. But it's just, when I look at Mike Johnson, and he's got the Sergeant at Arms in the House, and he can have these people arrested for obstructing an official proceeding, he won't do it. They never do anything. Congress is useless. But Adam Schiff will lie. Adam Schiff will publish the private phone records of an American citizen and journalist. And the Republicans just go, ooh, that Adam Schiff. Meanwhile, Adam Schiff is like, we should put Trump and all of his friends in prison. It's like, well,
And then proceeds to try to do it.
you've got two factions. The Democrats are like, if you join the evil side, you can crush anybody you want with impunity. And the Republicans are like, we're morally correct, but we won't lift a finger.
You can take morally correct and shut right up your fat ass, too.
Oh, that's
We should join the morally corrupt side and
Correct.
take over.
Correct.
No, corrupt side and take over them, and then
the
after
inside out,
Republicans.
we're
I'm not. I'm not. We just beat it from the inside. I'm not a Republican at heart.
no.
I'm American. I don't care about
You can't.
whoever's
You
party
can't do
is.
it because you're trying to walk into Sodom and Gomorrah and convince everybody to stop.
Yes.
It's not going to happen.
When we're on the non-live portion, I've got some ideas.
Well,
It involves good old boys and pickup trucks. And
for the time being, we have Cash and Dan who are currently in the FBI, and a lot of people are impatient, but they have been making arrests. And I think the challenge for a lot of people is that there's limited human resources. They don't just have an infinite number of FBI to go out and start arresting everybody. Any charge they're going to have to bring on anyone substantive is going to have to be I's dotted, T's crossed, all that stuff. So I'm hoping Bannon was right when he said sometime in midsummer we might see some actual arrests of corrupt individuals. They are,
I love the arrest of the Wisconsin judge.
and
I bet your hair in handcuffs today, walking her
yes.
fat ass out the back of her courthouse.
FBI is investigating Letitia James
Oh, love it.
for mortgage fraud.
Extremely good.
It's a slow process.
Old Fonnie Willis next.
Yeah.
They should. Oh yeah.
See the statue they made of her?
Yeah.
What?
Crazy. The statue they made of her?
They made a statue of Fonnie Willis.
12-foot lady in Times Square.
Oh.
Yeah, we made jokes about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did a couple of fundraising speeches. What's her name? It's in my phone. I'll look at it right now. Girl that's running against Fonnie Willis for Fulton County DA. Courtney Kramer. Yeah, Courtney Kramer.
Someone to root for?
Young girl, went to Georgia. She's 32-ish, 33-ish. I mean, she actually she won the Republican nomination. I think the Fulton County DA has run unopposed for like 30 years. So she was the first Republican to actually run against, on the Republican side for the Fulton County DA. Didn't do bad. She lost 10, 12 points. I mean, she made a showing.
This is her first time running for anything?
Yeah, she's probably like 32-ish, 33-ish.
Maybe someone we can help promote, maybe?
I mean, well, she's already the
But I mean, next
election's
time.
already.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that was, she'll run for something again.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, if you don't try again, right?
Yeah, but I balls to even make the attempt.
I think there's a possibility Democrats could win the midterms simply because congressional districts are very different from national politics. But I can't imagine Democrats having anybody by 2028.
The Senate map is much harder for the Democrats this year, or in the upcoming midterms, than it is for the Republicans. But I don't know what the House is looking like.
I was kind of shocked to see the House
Oh, wow.
get that close.
Yeah.
In 24.
North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, and Maine. So are they really saying Maine's a toss-up? That's interesting.
I'm sad to see my beloved home state of Georgia as a toss-up. It was never a question for years.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right?
North Carolina is that whole whatever.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is not running for Senate in Georgia, which I think is a good thing, because I don't think that she would win in Georgia.
Yeah, folks think she's very extreme.
She can stay in the House. That's fine. The House is where you can be a little more bombastic. The Senate's a little more. It's a little more snotty.
I had some folks in 16, 18 maybe. I can't remember. They're big into RNC in around Atlanta. When I want to run for something, I'll run for either a Georgia seat. I'm like, no, that's when once I found out what was involved in local state politics. I'm like, I'm doing something bigger than that.
It's like hell.
And so I met with, I can't recall the guy's name, but went and met with a very prominent campaign manager. Met with him twice. Because this went on for probably 6 weeks. I went to a lot of the gatherings of the RNC, and I was going to run for, I guess, whatever the district is up in around Johns Creek, north part of Atlanta. And probably the second meeting with this campaign manager, he's like, "Let me ask you something, John. What would your attitude be if you were in a committee room with AOC or a Pelosi?" I just go, "This has been fun, sir. It was very nice to meet you." And just got up, walked out. Like, yeah, that's not going to go too well. Could you
Yeah.
go over from AOC and have a debate with her? Would you be able to keep your composure?
Wait, you're the type of people we need.
Nice to meet you, sir. You're right. I would reach across the table and probably slap the holy shit out of
Well, not that part, but yeah. Besides,
I couldn't.
Okay.
contain myself. Let somebody get choked.
I don't know who Democrats got for 2028. Nobody. Republicans are favored for the House in the midterms. Right now, based on the makeup of districts, polling-wise, they're saying Democrats are favored, but we really don't know. Maybe the Democrats do take the House. Probably not the Senate. The Senate is much, much harder, considering the makeup of the states.
Yeah.
So even if Democrats won all toss-ups, Republicans still have a 51-seat majority. So that seems very unlikely. So, but if Democrats win the House, they will impeach Trump.
Yep.
You won't get convicted. They will they will subpoena everybody and their grandmothers. They will try and rack up. The purpose of the J6 committee and the subpoenas is to force you to spend $500,000 to destroy your ability to run your business and live your life. To make they want to create pressure where they can say, do you want to spend $1 million on legal defense or do you want to go away right now? And that's the purpose of what they do. They will do it. That may happen, but in 2028, I don't see anybody right now on the Democrat side who will be able to generate the support for our 2028 run. Not even Newsom.
No,
Newsom's
especially on him.
B-.
Yeah.
You know,
Again,
he's a governor.
It's just too much negative PR they've created for themselves by just doing what they do. Just running government how they see fit to run government and expressing their thoughts, their opinions, just by being visible to the American public gives the Republicans enough of just enough fodder to go after you and just beat you over the head with your own words.
The real question is, how do you win a
you
primary?
can't hide from it.
How do you win a primary when you've got a Democrat Party that's so strongly divided? The progressives, people like AOC and stuff like that, like the base and the people that actually go and vote in the primaries, the people that are really active in the Democrat Party, they want to see progressive people, but the donors don't want to give money to people like Bernie or AOC because
Those
they're
ideas
actually
do not work.
well,
Ideas are horrible.
they don't work, but they also, like, the people that have money that will donate, they're the ones that are the billionaires that, you know, the Democrats, the modern Democrats, absolutely hate. So it's a real problem for the Democrats. How do you end up winning a primary and then also
And
manage
switching
to
back
win
to middle?
Exactly.
I know. I made a joke about Tim Walz earlier today, but what about the gentleman who's trying to introduce legislation from Trump's EU about Ro Khanna? Like he's
no way.
not even close.
Not even
So first of all,
close.
Ro Khanna is he's in Congress. He's in the House.
Sure.
And people from the House just generally don't win presidential
Not
runs.
enough name recognition.
And he doesn't have the mojo. That he doesn't have the name recognition. He doesn't.
years.
Pardon me.
3 years down the road, I'm just saying, throwing it out there. I mean, you know what I mean.
The always
Gotta give something. I'm just trying to give
may have a
someone
chance. He's got fantastic hair.
There's no one
nice
else.
ass. But other than that, he's got no chance.
What? Yep.
Nice hair, good ass. He does. He's got good ass for a man.
Like I said,
I-
the situation the Democrats are in is they have to find someone that can thread the needle, that can win the base, which want more progressive policies. If you listen to the people that are really progressive, the arguments they make about why Kamala lost is because she wasn't far left enough, and that's absolutely not true. They're telling you, oh, the people that want the progressive policies, they stayed home because Kamala wasn't
20% in the middle want things to be more ridiculous.
It's
How are you
wrong.
that dumb to believe that? I know.
They're wrong, and they're biased.
But again, the reason they believe this so ardently, this is their religion. I mean, liberalism is basically a cult. I've got a couple of theories I even debate myself on. I kind of argue myself back and forth. I think a lot of people are born liberal. I think people are born gay.
yeah.
I think people are born,
yeah.
their brain chemistry
Yes.
is designed in such a way they
Absolutely.
are born this way. And for you to like switch and say, okay, I believe things the other way, a complete 180, means you have to like just deny your belief system you've had your entire life. It's like I've got to turn from being black to being white. How am I going to do that? It seems damn near impossible.
Your personality is strong. Your personality is dictated by, like by your genes, how you respond to things, your emotional level, how you respond to stimuli in the world. That's dictated by your, by your genes and stuff. And so that's strongly heritable, and it strongly indicates where you're going to fall politically.
Yeah. I mean, there's some Rogans of the world that were maybe influenced, whether it was a school you went to, a parent, your environment of being in L.A. kind of thing. And then, the older you get, perspectives change, and Rogan is fairly conservative now. I think he leans left on a few things.
Well, part of the reason why Rogan seems conservative is, again, just like we talk about, the Democrats of the 90s are now Republicans.
Yeah.
Rogan is in a very similar situation to Tulsi Gabbard, to RFK, to Donald Trump. These people were, they were moderate Democrats in the 90s and aughts, and now the progressives in the Democrat Party have moved so far left, which is, again, this is exemplary of the problem that we were just talking about a few minutes ago. They've moved so far left that they've lost the center. There are very few people that are on a national level that are popular Republicans that are actually really conservative.
Yeah.
You see,
the foundation of liberalism is sympathy and pity. They feel sorry for everything, everybody, the environment, the minorities, and they don't feel sorry about burning somebody's Tesla dealership down. But the reason they're doing it is to protect people they feel sorry for. Sympathy and pity, and to really see the error of their ways and be like, let me step back. It's just crazy. The shit I believe is just fucking nuts. It means they have to basically deny their entire upbringing, lifestyle, everything they've grown up believing, knowing, feeling, understanding. Needs to flip it on its ear and go, stop this car, put it in reverse, the completely other direction, and they're just not going to do it. Like, again, I keep talking about their model of the world. When I was playing baseball, I got really heavy into something called neuro-linguistic programming, which really talks about model of the world. And their model of the world, when they're looking at what is going on, what Trump's doing, and they're just mortified by it, they just can't understand, and just the way they see it, it's mortifying to them. We call them crazy because our model of the world and what they want to do, that's crazy to us.
Well, there's this guy, John Haidt, that wrote a book called The Righteous Mind, and he goes through the types of people, the types of personality traits that lead someone to be more progressive or Democrat and more conservative or Republican. And, you can actually predict these things fairly regularly if you know what kind of personality someone has, where they're going to fall as far as politics go. And you can look at it like nowadays, the Progressive Party and the progressives and Democrats, it's very, very, very strongly liberal women that are unmarried.
Yes.
And it seems like everybody else is not a progressive.
I wonder why they're unmarried. Because no man be like, yeah, right. I'm dealing with your ass.
That's a point.
And most of the men, slight built, thin boned. Just talk a little flinty. You're quite effeminate, sir. Let me guess, you vote left, don't you?
You can listen to people. When people think that they actually have agency and can go out into the world and make things happen, they tend to be fairly conservative. When people are like, no, things happen to me, it's not my fault, or I tried and this happened, so that happened.
Feeling sorry.
Sorry
for myself.
Exactly, but they don't feel like they have the ability to affect the world. Conservatives generally tend to have the opinion that I can affect the world, which is why they go out and do things like start businesses, which is why they do those things. So, like, that comes from the type of personality that you have. So it's very.
It's why when you see like a George Soros is so fucking left, I'm like, this is a barking cat here.
It's weird.
I'm not used to seeing some shit like this.
It is weird.
And even I've got a few buddies, we don't talk politics, that I play the big leagues with. I'm like, well, you're a liberal? What?
Yeah.
And big strapping dudes. I'm like, did your uncle rape you when you were at a family reunion one year? Like, what the hell happened to you? Was something got in your brain? Just very confusing to me.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.